You know, I woke up this morning thinking, what good is this truck if I don't go drive it? Now, Jace is not too happy. Hey, baby, you can't go with me on this one. Okay? I'll be back. Let's go. See if we can get in any trouble. Been a minute, huh, you two? We're just guessing at speed today. It's all right. Oh, I love it. Oh man, I have forgotten how much fun this thing is. Almost ran out of fuel there. Close. Very close. You know, when people ask why I didn't go racing this year, if you look at the end of the driveway, making sure I get home safe. Got to spend a lot more time with that little boy right there. And that was worth it. Oh man. You know, we have been at the new location for about 6 months. And man, we haven't worked on this thing at all. I think I've started it twice, had it detailed a few times. We fired it up. Actually, that's not true. My wife did help me bleed the brakes about 3 months ago. And hopped in it, went and beat on it. Nothing like a little Sunday morning stress relief for you guys. All the stuff in here. I've still got stuff in the bed. I wanted to go drive it. I haven't driven it in forever. So I said, what the heck? Today's the day. Let's go drive it. And you might be wondering, what's the deal? Now, I have posted this thing for sale many times. I've always joked about that it's for sale. And I kind of let it simmer almost the whole summer. Summer's almost over. And I had a couple guys, but I'm not selling it for absolute pennies on the dollar. And that's a me problem, not a them problem. Everyone wants a good deal. But I couldn't find an offer that I liked to a person I wanted it to go to. And I think that was the problem, is I kept trying to justify selling it to someone that I wanted to have it. And when I came down to it, there's only a few individuals that I would want this truck to go to. And so I guess we'll keep this lawn ornament. Well, if we're gonna keep it, let's do something cool with it. So I know we've always kept this thing as a street truck. It's always had a full bed, all that stuff. And then we kind of went down the rabbit hole with the roll cage, some weight reduction for UCC. Then we had Cody Fisher do the 4-link. And after the 4-link, you guys saw all of our effort to reducing the weight on the brakes and then adding the supports for sled pulling. And this is where it sits, just a sad pickup truck. Well, I'm done with letting it sit. We're gonna do something with it. I talked with Meyer and all the guys at PDD for a while, and every time I go up there, I get a little fire to work on it. Now, this is the first time we will be working on it really on film since probably February of this year. So a little 7-month hiatus, but I think I've worked up enough courage to work on it again. So you might be asking yourselves, what are we gonna do to it? Well, I went out and just basically beat the living you-know-what out of it for my own enjoyment, just to make sure everything still worked. And lo and behold, it does. So now we're gonna work on it. We're gonna start at the bed and work our way forward in the realm of making it as light as possible. So today, I'm not sure how far we'll get. This video series will be never ending, I'm sure, again, but we're gonna get the bed ripped off and maybe get some fiberglass bedsides mocked up on this. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. I apologize, but at the end of the day, where I live in California, being able to drive this truck like I did in Virginia is just not an option. Now, before everybody comes at me in the comments, I knew that moving here, okay? I've said it before, I've said it again. The whole reason I came back is to spend more time with my kids. I am my son's primary care provider every day of the week. My wife works, she's still a gymnastics coach. I do side work to keep myself busy. And then my main priority is to take care of this young man right here. Say hi, Jace. Yeah. So he is currently working on some fine motor skills with the cordless drill and screws. So if you hear some giggling, laughing, he also knows one swear word that he really likes to repeat all the time. Thanks a lot, Grandma. This wasn't a priority. So because of where we live, I just want to make this truck as light as I can, so when we go to places, we can have fun with it. Now, I'm not going to make any speculations into next year. My mind has kind of been going down this rabbit hole recently. But what I do know is I want the bed off. I need to do some work with that, getting the bedsides. Big thank you to John Strato for helping me out on some ideas, and a couple other people that probably didn't realize they were helping me on Facebook when they post the pictures of the back. And then we're gonna keep working forward. Ideally, we're looking at a rewire, we're looking at a different engine, some fab work, and you guys can kind of see how we've been setting ourselves up for that. We got the fab table pulled out, which it's now riddled in absolute Duramax parts, but that's fine. We got our TIG welder out. If you guys look up there, we have some chromoly bed support tube right there, and we've been slowly working towards this. Now, not to keep this video rambling on, we're gonna get it ready. I don't know if we're gonna race Pro Street or 590. I don't know, but it will be with NHRDA. We might go cross country one time next year in order to go with ODSS. I miss my ODSS friends. I'm sorry I haven't been able to make any trips out there. I know a lot of people have asked what the heck. I kind of fell off the face of the planet, and I apologize. We had some issues with my mother-in-law. She broke her foot, and unfortunately, when the only other people that can watch Jace get hurt, I gotta stay home. So it is what it is. That is exactly the explanation that you guys are gonna get. Whether you wanted it, whether you deserved it, I don't care. But that is why we really didn't do anything this year. But because of the YouTube kept going on, we did use some of that money to sponsor some events. We did the Daily Driven Dyno Day, Diesels in the Mountain, and a few others. Which reminds me, I think I still have to pay for the Diesels on the Mountain one. But anyway, we've kept it going. So now let's get this thing ready. I don't foresee this truck coming out this year. I think We'll just take the year off. I will be at Diesel's in the mountain. It is industrial injections event. It's right next to their machine shop. I always forget the name of it. But it's about an hour and a half from Cedar, maybe an hour. I will be there. I don't know if I'm going to bring one of my trucks or just rent a car to go hang out with everybody, but we will be there. So if you guys want to come see me, say hi, whatever, I will be there. Like I said, I don't think this truck will be ready just because it only has the Street 6.7 in it, and I don't feel like towing this thing 7 hours to like make 2,000 horsepower and like that's it. So call me whatever you want. That is why we will not be taking this. We might take the 6-liter, might take the Duramax, we might not take anything. Just depends. But let's get to getting this bed off. Okay, a little rusty, not gonna lie, but got her all disconnected. So we just waiting on the girls to get here. We're gonna lift this off with the shop crane, obviously. Just using our 2 ratchet straps like we've done before and lift it off. I do kind of want to take some measurements real quick for the fiberglass. I want it to look as factory as possible. And then also, guys, if you know anyone in the Southern California area, maybe in Phoenix, that can wrap this truck when it's all done, drop them in the comments. I'm not looking for a homie hookup. Let me reiterate that. I don't want the best price. I want the best work. Okay? Again, I don't expect them to do it for free. Don't expect them to discount. None of it. I just want the person that does the best work for wrapping a vehicle. And it'd be even cooler if they could come to my location. I'm happy to pay them a travel fee, whatever, but I would prefer to have it done here where I can keep an eye on my baby versus dropping it off, but I can do it either way. So again, I live Riverside, Moreno Valley area. I'd go as far up to Bakersfield. I'd go all the way into Cedar City, Utah, so Vegas. I'd be happy to go to Phoenix. I probably wouldn't go like Tucson, Flagstaff, like up there. I'm not going up to like Elko. I'm certainly not going to Sacramento. So within, I'd say, a 5-6 hour radius of Southern California, let me know. Again, not the cheapest price. I want the best job possible. And I understand that that will not be cheap. Okay? So I'm going to get the crane set up, get our ratchet strap set up, take a couple measurements here. Most importantly, I just want to make sure we really nail this gap here. I feel like that's important. I want that gap perfect. And it might not be perfect, but I want it damn near close. Man. RIP to the steel bed. In service from probably early 2006 to 2024. All right, so now we have to begin our mock-up of the bedsides. Kind of been hemming and hawing about this for quite a minute now on which route we need to go. And I haven't gotten much further than where we're currently at. So, wow, that sounded so much like our vice president. My bad. Anyway, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know. I was thinking doing it out of wood temporarily, but I'm not quite sure yet on it. I'm really debating here. So, pulled some stuff out of the trailer. That's trash. But we pulled these out. Now, for those of you guys that don't remember, these are our fiberglass bedsides. I've had them probably over 2 years now. They are actually replacement bedsides. So I ended up figuring this out from Landon over at Firepunk. These are designed to essentially cut your outer skin off your bed and mount to the actual bed. Now we're going to use them a little differently, but as you can see here, they're actually much more rigid and heavier than your traditional race bedside. Now I did that for 2 reasons. Number one, I thought the weight we gained with this, we'd lose in bracing. So, and it had a place to mount the factory taillights, all that jazz. So I was a big fan. And they're pretty much ready to paint. Couple scratches, but oh well. I think I paid like $800 for these back in the day. And now we get the job of mounting all this fun stuff. My thought process is pretty simple on this. I'm gonna measure the factory bed split, and then I'm going to set this up with probably maybe a 2x4 or something. Maybe I'll do it out of steel and basically create like a mock-up, something that kind of just sits on the frame rails, keeps everything square, and then from there we can make our, I guess, reinforcements would be the word I would want to use. My goal is minimum reinforcement on the truck, and the reason why I want minimum reinforcements is it sucks when you pull the bedsides off to make like 4-link adjustments, work on it, and there's this whole skeleton of stuff in your way that can stab you, scratch your head, all that. So I'm not sure how far we'll get in this video. I'm not even really sure how this is gonna look. I got quite a few pictures in my head of how I want it to look, but I want it to be seamless. Like factory is the end goal, and I want it to be easy to get on and off. Now, where we get in this video, only time will tell. Okay, thanks to the wife, we got it set up. I made a little jig out of 2x4s and some C-clamps. Obviously, the bottom is very flexible. Not worried about that. I want to mount the top first, get that set right. I really just kind of wanted to see how it would look. And now we'll get the crane in there and kind of, I left that void open so we could slide the strap forward and backwards, and maybe get some jack stands supporting it or something. I'm not sure. The wind is making it very challenging. So once I get it kind of rigged up where I want it, we'll pick the camera back up. Okay, so here is kind of the temp setup. Not ideal. I talked to John Serrato, I talked to Cody Fisher, talked to a few other guys as well on mounting. So what I've decided is on the front part, I'm going to use part of the cab with a nutsert tool. If you guys look right there, it's pretty thick, so I think we can do like maybe a dowel, but for mock-up purposes it's going to definitely help us center it. And then I'm thinking on the underside top is pretty thick, maybe we'll do one in the middle, but the factory bed spacing is 1 inch. So what I did was I bought these 1-inch dowels from McMaster, and I bought these studs. So the thought process is this will be nutserted into the cab, threaded in. We'll put the spacer, and then once the spacer is on, you can basically dowel in a way, line up the bed there, and then the goal is to be able to set it on the back uprights, so to speak. So I'm not sure how this is going to pan out. Worst comes to worst, we're just putting more holes in the cab. Oh well. So I'm going to go ahead and get a drill. This is the nutsert tool I bought from Amazon. Instructions unclear. We'll learn as we go, but we got the M6 collets right here. I also ordered some more. It's a decent set. It's got all the dies in it. I think it was like 80 bucks. So we'll give it a shot. I was just playing around with it. Here it is crushed right here. And I figured a nutsert would be stronger. Now looking at the cab, you know, you just gotta kind of, I guess we're gonna guess off of here. Try our best to make that all happen. So I'm gonna get this kind of set up and maybe get to a point where the front is in a good spot. And then all we need is this little apparatus up here to spread it at the bottom. So that's kind of, or the back, and then we can use the crane to set the up and down height. A big shout out, wife came out, helped me hang this together. We got it kind of temporarily mocked up. I won't be, it's not perfect, but to most people, they'll never notice. To me, I might notice it. So we might change it a little bit on the front mount, but you guys could see Kyla absolutely nailed the body lines. And basically I had her, sorry about the wind noise. I had her I held the bedside, she traced it on the cab, and then we found two similar mounting points. Now they're not perfect, but they're close, and put the 1-inch standoffs. So now the front of the bed is very rigid. Then we moved the crane portion to the back to set the up and down of the bed, which honestly I like that, at least on this side. So now what we're gonna do is start building our gussets. And as you can see, I moved the board pretty far forward to allow us to go from here right up to here. And my thought process is right here off the bottom of the frame, we can use this existing hole. My thought is if we go from a known point on the frame to a known point here, the bars should be identical. And as long as they're identical and welded on the same angle, then everything's square. So that's kind of my thought process. I'm not sure how much further we're gonna get. We made a lot of progress. Like, I know it doesn't look like it, but getting these, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare, especially with the wind blowing today. But our goal is to basically come up here, grab this corner right here from here, and then this bracket I might also have go there. Not sure. In the front, I might add, or not might, I'm gonna add some stuff on the lower corner for sure. I don't know yet up there, so we'll see. Okay, I've spent about the last half hour now cleaning up our workspace. Kids are going hard, which, hey, hold on, Jace, let me see that cordless drill. They have been absolutely stripping the you-know-what out of this Phillips bit. Look at this Milwaukee bit. I mean, literally, still looks great. And they've, like, stripped out at least 10 screws. Anyway, I think I got it as centered as I can get it. Don't worry about the bottom edge. We're just worried about the top right now. The top looks fine. I don't like how it kind of curls, but I don't think there's anything I can do to change that because it's fiberglass. So I really like this bed alignment. This one, I tried to cheat it and I probably made it worse. So we'll figure it out. But honestly, where the top bed rail is at on both sides, kind of a fan, not gonna lie. So I think now we could start working on our upper gusset here. I'm thinking somewhere in here and just go up. I'm gonna have to, I guess, 90 notch some round stock to make that work. I've also thought about putting a piece of angle right here, bolting it to the frame, and then from there welding it up. That way it can be removable. Not sure yet. So far we haven't done anything that can't be undone, but the day is young. So we nutserted into the frame with our little L brackets here. That'll give us a nice place to land. I also am a big fan of this because it's removable and I'll be able to weld inside. I'll have to tack it out here, but not too bad. So basically we're gonna go straight up here to this side, and I might honestly use that angle to mount it up there. I haven't really given it too much thought yet, but on the back, because there is so much flex from the wind and everything, we're gonna use 1-inch chromoly here up to here. That's kind of the goal. We have the right filler rod for it, so we'll start taking our measurements here. I'm gonna keep it pitter pattering, I guess. So what, folks, for freehand, 61.3, 61.8. I think I'll take that. Wow, that's crazy. So now you guys are kind of getting the gist. This will be our main support bar. From this bracket here, I might nutsert into the side here, haven't decided, but this also gives us a great place to weld from here to this corner here and give us that support down low. So it's kind of our rear anchor point, so to speak. And then up here, again, we'll have our upper anchor point. That's kind of our goal. I might end up putting a tab here on these two and bolt something together, or maybe I'll even weld a piece of tubing to stop it from kind of spreading. But with 1.5 or 1 inch chromoly on this 1/8 inch angle chamfered in right there with M8 10.9 fastener, I think we're good through the frame, but we'll see. I'm gonna get this kind of tacked in. I am gonna MIG weld the tacks, just kind of tack to get the angle right. Jace does not like the ice cream man, clearly. And from here we will pull it back apart and weld it, TIG weld it. Not to be the guy that just drags on and on and on, but I think we'll call it here on the video. You guys got some idea of the plans. You guys got to see some of this, and then we'll do another video on finishing the bed setup. That way it's not a nightmare for me to edit. So there's where she sits. Pretty happy with the progress. We'll pick it back up soon. Okay, so sorry about that. I realized I didn't really show you guys. So here's the body line on the driver's side. I think we killed it. Body line on the passenger side. Again, I think we killed it. It doesn't look perfect, but once it's wrapped, I don't think you'll notice. And so far, super simple. Like I said, we are gonna gusset from there across there. I think it'll be a bolt-in piece, and then we will obviously run supports down. We'll obviously run, I'm thinking about even running like a small support up front, up top, and then down below. But that'll all be in the next episode. The big thing was I just wanted it on. We'll be able to move that in a little bit. I got to keep that back area clear. And there it is. We didn't even spill any fuel. there wasn't much fuel in it, but it's a shame that scratch is there, because honestly, I mean, you could definitely tell PXR versus black, but from about 10 feet, you can't really even tell other than the sweet daylight in between there. But that's how it looks factory, so I wanted to keep it looking factory. Maybe we'll put some threshold or something in here. I'm not sure. I honestly don't hate it the way it is either. We'll paint the spacers black, but there she is. Another day, another forgotten outro. I apologize, but we're going to finish it up here on the part 1. We will wrap this up in part 2 on mounting the bedsides. And hopefully you guys are liking this content. Give this one a big thumbs up. Drop your comments down below. Subscribe if you're not already. And as always, I'll catch y'all on the next one.